Ooh.
Okay, I'm done. Help yourself to whatever's in the fridge.
Done with what? What do you do?
Hey, we're out of chimichangas.
We've got to do an MCN now. Make sure as well, hit the like button, subscribe, come back to every day, like, for fresh content, especially because we've got new information dropping today for a very important reason, and that is that we've got the live stream later on. Yes, this live stream is going to produce a lot of information. I'll try and break it down like I did last month into separate videos. Of course, we'll do a big kind of live stream reaction, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Kabam have got on offer for us. And as well, shout out to everybody in Wednesday's MCN. Obviously, in all content, when you can get involved with the comment section, it's really good to read back on the comments and kind of obviously, you know, figure out things I've done wrong or could do better, but also kind of like just the amazing interaction, the very kind of cordial. Cordial basically means, you know, very amicable, very nice, very pleasant interaction. And as well, it seems like a lot of people are very passionate about the battleground situation. I really hope Kabam are reading these comments and the feedback and taking it seriously. But in any case, roll on later on and this live stream. So first of all, BrtualDLX challenge. This is the first thing I want to talk about, as this event is nearing its end, probably in the next, well, it's not in next week or so, something like that. Look, we, difference of opinion on it. By the end of it, I must admit I was happy to get it done. I found it a little bit grindy. I don't know if anybody else found it a little bit grindy. I've actually found a lot of this month very grindy, whether or not you're doing things, battlegrounds, you know, just the incursions, a lot of stuff is very, very grindy. But in any case, like, the thought process is very mixed. A lot of people disliked it and hated it, it seems, and some didn't do it. To those that found it like neutral, I would say I'm very much in the neutral camp. There's certain stuff I liked about it, but I think that was because it was a lot more straightforward than I thought it was, and that is because the rewards weren't as spicy. As I did say at the start of the month, I did feel like it wasn't going to be as difficult, and would the reward, because the rewards weren't spicy. If they were spicy, it'd be more difficult than it was. But then that's the difficulty, isn't it? Going like, right, it was more, the laborious nature to it was very grindy, and I guess that's kind of like its kind of niche within it. But in any case, feedback wise, what Kabam are saying in response to this is very, very important, because, you know, it shapes what's going to happen potentially in the future. So Kabam Mike said, out of curiosity, what didn't you like compared to, say, the John Mulaney's challenge, champion challenge? People have always asked for more of those, and would like to know what the differences was in case of ever do one of these again. I think it was a case of, like, for me, it was auto fighting through lower difficulties, because some of the nodes and the way that they were kind of presented, it meant that the challenge side of things, not the BrtualDLX one, I'm getting confused with which one's which, but the 6 lower bits of content were more kind of like you couldn't auto fight a good chunk of them. So if I'm doing something like, I don't know, doing the dishes or cooking the dinner, then I can't leave it kind of to the side auto fighting through whilst I get on with other stuff. And that was kind of like a thing that I kind of didn't like this time around, but that's my personal kind of like thing with it. But apart from that, I think it was just a time, you know, sync that was a bit of an issue. But I don't know, thoughts in the comments section about that, and also this thread, which I'll put a link to in the description as well. And now I want to move on to a bit of a funny thing, kind of a funny thing, but of a kind of a good pointer, and that is this. So this particular thread emerged, which was Kabam, last day of the Legends Crystal brings a great opportunity. And of course, as the PT says, this might be the best thing ever that you guys have done after the introduction of 7 stars, is to give a great crystal, but now it's ending. I think it's appropriate to finally introduce the Paragon Objective Crystal instead of this nonsense for Paragons. I mean, maybe the same thing for, you could say, like, why are Thronebreakers not getting the Thronebreaker Objective Crystal? Why can't we have a scaling that's more kind of fairer? And I guess that's the thing, metas move on, but unfortunately the meta for some of the crystals, like the Solo Crystal, has not moved on. This particular crystal has not moved on. So there's lots of things to kind of like unpack with this one. And as well, you know, a lot of people seem to like that. As Paragon, it's quite shameful to sit together with Cavaliers. I think we can be a little bit more kind of like nicer than what we're putting here. But I think we get the idea. Like, yeah, the stuff within it is just kind of a bit, well, it just doesn't really kind of work out. I mean, look, you know, this, as PT says, he's getting tier 4 class Catalyst Fragment Crystals, tier 4 basics, and some ISO and gold. The volume and ISO on gold should be a bit more than that. But yeah, like it's a bit kind of like a bit of a downgrade, isn't it? A bit of a downgrade for these things. But the interesting thing about this is what Kabam Mike has to say. And he says, I have a lot more rank 5, 6 stars than you do, and more than double your number of 7 stars. This is in response to Derpy Eagle. What does Derpy Eagle say, actually? Only Cavs will disagree to this, and I'm pretty sure most Kabam devs and Cav level don't have high hopes. But then, yeah, Kabam Mike says, I have a lot more rank 5, 6 stars than you do, and more than double your number of 7 stars. This Kabam doesn't play their own games. Nonsense is dumb, and I've been proven wrong so many times. Sometimes we can agree that players would like something but don't have the time or cap to do something, or maybe we're working something else. Time is not limited, neither is our team's capacity. There are people that play the game and play the game very well within Kabam. I also like the fact that FitFun said, show us the screenshot of dude, very curious. It's just like Trainwrecks TV when he goes, show me your logs, kids, show me your logs. It's like, it's literally well like that, show me your logs. Because I think a lot of us be like, come on, like, I want to see this. You know, when rank 5, 6 stars became obtainable tier 6 class catalyst, I was non-spending. And now I've got the equivalent, I think, to 2 rank 5, 6 stars, nearly 3. And I haven't spent a penny on that particular time period. Yes, I've spent in the past, like a long time in the past, but it doesn't really count. Spending in 2014, 2015 got you nothing compared with what it gets you now, and that's kind of the big kind of depreciation. I talk about it a lot. People go, "Yeah, it's not about cards, Richard." Yeah, well, look, it's the best way to describe it. Depreciation is a thing within MCOC. Metas change. You know, we'll be talking about tier 7 class catalyst at some point. Or we'll be talking about the next progression thing. We're talking about Ascension next. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of moves on with the game. But that's a spender right there with that one. That's a spender. Because, look, you can't be non-spending and have a ton of 6 stars at rank 5. I'm sure people have. Maybe if you're in top alliances as well, you've taken home a lot more. But that's just the thing. And also, if you've been able to indulge in stuff like July 4th deals, maybe you'd have a lot more. But again, that's the thing, isn't it? You'd have to be a non-spending player, have at least 21,000 units to spend on July 4th deals, and the same thing would have to be that and more for your Cyber Weekend and Banquet event for 2023. So yeah, like, hey, like that's the thing. If Kabam Mike has probably, you know, spent a lot of time in Arena, probably not. Maybe spent a bit of money and been able to make a bit of progress. Quite possibly, or possibly not, as the case may be. But it's funny that a lot of people are going like, "Show me your logs, show me your logs, show me your logs." We want to see the information. But in any case, yeah, I think a lot of us will really miss the Legends Crystal, especially because it was so much better than last year's. 2022 ones was ass compared with this new 2023 one. It was banging, fantastic, really, really. Looking forward to what 2024 has. It should be more spicy. Can any more of those legendary crystals from 2023? People get references. We're going to move on to the next story. So I think if you've been living in a rock, you might have missed the reveal that we are getting some new champions next month. Well, we're getting one new champion next month, which is a champion we knew about, which was Gladiator, but also we're getting a rework of a champion, which is going to be OG Iron Man. Now, we've done 2 videos on this one. We'll probably be doing a couple more. With a couple more next week when the champion is playable by you and me on the same day. So yeah, like that's going to be really, really good to see. Really looking forward to that. But the question does come up, and it's something that we'll be referring to in a bigger deep dive at some point, about the buff program. As you know, recently I put out a video about the buff program seeming like it was dead, which is really weird. I didn't know, I wasn't fed any information at that particular time, but I even on the thumbnail put OG Iron Man and Iron Man Supreme. Supreme? Not Supreme, that's wrong. Iron Man Supreme. Oh no, I've given Kabam ideas. No, Superior Iron Man. Put those 2 on the thumbnail. And little did I know that there would be a OG Iron Man getting buffed. I didn't think it would be possible. I thought when they were talking about Iron Man or the leaks were going out, that it was going to be about Ironheart, to be brutally honest, and they were going to just call it Iron Man something or other, or Iron Man just like a new variant of it. But I was pleasantly surprised. But it does throw up questions as to what's going to happen to the buff program and my personal hopes and your personal hopes about the future of how this could integrate in the future. But do bear in mind, like, look, I think I hope it's not a one-off, but I think Kabam might make it a one-off. It just depends on sales, I think. Feature Paragon crystals are going to be a big thing. Unless Kabam are kind of wondering, like, well, should we just like scale down how much money we're making? We'll have to see. I'll get into that in a second. So, when asked the question about will this continue on, Kabam Mike says we'll have to see. This is the first that we're doing, and we're all really excited to see how this plays out. But we have to keep this the game's health and success in mind as well. There we go, money. If this goes well and we see a buff perform as well, or at least comparable to a new champion, then we have the potential for more in the future. And yes, we know that most people have Iron Man, and we'll take that into account when looking at the data. This is a big problem because this is where the financial pressures come in. Kabam will need to see a return on this to then, continue on. And that's sad. It's sad when that is such a big factor to this particular situation of continuing it on. And that's the thing, Paragon features, the more people buy Paragon features, the more likely it is for this. Because look, people are going to get 7-star. They want the 7-star. The 7-star's not available. And that's how they may kind of like interweave it. Someone's obviously had a great day at Kabam to pitch this as a thing. But the problem is there's going to be that CEO that's going to be Netmarble. They're going to be looking at this and going, well, look, doing this new system, which appeased the community, did not bring back the money. And it's sad when game development is thrown to that particular element of it. There's passion within Kabam with people that are going, this is a great idea. There's people that are looking over the money side of things and going, look, this is how we've got to do it. And this is what me and Gabe were talking about. Me and Gabriel Frazera, the video up for that is out of the weekend. We're talking about this and how business, the passion on side of things is always outweighed by the growth of the business when it comes to the money, and that collision that happens when an unstoppable force meets an irremovable object. It's just going to collide. And this is something that I really hope can continue in the future, but I don't think it will, mainly because it boils down to money. New champions mean more money, more Paragon features being spent, more kind of like crystals being spent. That's how it goes. So we'll have to see. But there is hope. But sadly, as a lot of you know, the world sadly revolves around money. And with Netmarble looking at Kabam as being a cash cow for their portfolio, it does put that kind of like negative cloud over what is a positive thing. And I really hope Kabam are able to continue this. But I think it might be money. It's what I'd say. But yeah. Roll on. In any case, that is the end of the show for today. A lot of really cool topics being discussed. Thank you very much for supporting and watching, and make sure to check out some other content located on screen right now, and I'll see you all in the next video whenever that will be. Have a great day. Bye bye.